Hi, I'm Carlos. While I've loved working at Vox the past few years, I'm making this video because it's time for me to do my own thing. To start my own channel and go fully independent.
Hell yeah, baby, going independent.
What's happening?
I'm your left flank, baby. Your inner soy boy. And the socialist dreamboat you've always wanted to be. You're free now. You can make videos about whatever you want. Campaign rhetoric, fascist propaganda, the death of the spirit under capitalism.
Carl, I see you're still dressing as an ensemble member from Les Mis.
You're about to hear the people sing, bitch.
Stop it. Who are you?
I'm your right flank, baby. The reasonable centrist who believes in compromise. Anyway, I thought you hated YouTube. Now you have your own channel? I mean...
I do hate YouTube. I do hate YouTube. It's a shitty company that exploits its creators and doesn't deserve to exist. But while it does, I might as well flood its airways with leftist propaganda. Use the master's tools to take down the master's house or whatever.
You sound like a pragmatist.
You sound like a sellout. If you put soy milk in my fucking glass, you need me. Every story needs a bad guy, and I make bad look good. Plus, if I don't roast you, the commenters will.
They're gonna roast him anyways.
He's like ContraPoints with no confidence.
He's like Philosophy Tube with no upper body strength.
You three are deplatformed. New video coming out soon. Smash that subscribe button because God is dead.
They're here.
Carlos Maza is back! After failing to strike it out on his own in any other media outlet, after being what can only be described, in my opinion, as being fired from Vox, he has now come crawling back to the content community and that of YouTube and hopes to pay whatever bills apparently he needs to be paid. And it's all too deliciously ironic to see Carlos Maza come back to try and be supported by the very community in which he spent months vilifying. A community of creators left, right, center, or wherever on the political spectrum that was negatively affected by his me witch hunt. Steven Crowder said a mean word about me. Everyone on the platform should suffer. Something like that is what I imagine he said. Many of you alerted me that, yes, look, he's got a YouTube channel. He's back. And every leftist media outlet in the world came together to try and launch him. Now, I would have expected significantly, I saw this video as 60,000 views, but it only netted him 12,000 subscribers. That's pretty sad. Now, that isn't to like discount getting 12,000 subscribers because Lord knows when you're a YouTuber, that first like 1,000 is the most difficult you'll ever get. Then that 10,000 is almost feeling like impossible. Then once you get 50 or 100, you kind of have a good bit of steam built and things get easier. But for 60,000 views to only amass 12,000 subscribers, it seems pretty sad. It seems like nobody really likes Carlos Maza. Now, I will admit, I thought the video was actually quite well done. And while I dislike the man greatly, he probably would have made a good YouTuber if he wasn't, in my opinion, a total moron. But let's just take a look at one of the outlets providing him with an extraordinary amount of support. Here's The Verge. And by the way, there's an unending amount of articles covering this. But The Verge, I thought, was the most hilarious. Last year, after setting off a firestorm around YouTube's harassment policies that even prompted a response from the company's CEO, Carlos Maza disappeared from YouTube. Now he's back. But this time, he's doing it all on his own. Wow, congratulations. Good job. Great moves, Carlos. Just like, I don't know, just about every other independent creator on this entire platform has done it on their own their entire life. But for some reason, even with the full media's backing, I'm supposed to give you credit for doing it. Maza is leaving Vox.com. Leaving? He was fired. It's so funny that they put it that he's leaving. No, dog, he was fired.
I told you that in confidence.
Which produced his old show to become a full-time media critic on YouTube, like he did with his old series Strike Through. Maza intends to use his new channel to talk about media, propaganda, and socially conscious topics that relate to how people get their news from progressive perspective. Sounds exciting. And socially conscious topics that relate to how people get to experiment with presentation, making it funnier, a little more theatrical, and potentially a lot longer. He tells The Verge in a phone interview, The Verge is part of Vox, Media, which publishes Vox.com and Strikethrough. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's why you're sending them out. The decision comes after a big but challenging year for Maza. In June, he highlighted how conservative pundit repeatedly used words he didn't like, and he tweeted off. His tweets kicked off a heated conversation around the treatment of LGBTQ creators. The YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki addressed days later when interviewed at CodeCon. That's right, equal, separate but equal. That's what Carlos Maza wants for the LGBT community. No, that's not even the correct way to put that, is it? He wants them to be treated like anyone else, but he also wants them to have special treatment. You can't have both. You have to pick one or the other.
What's happening?
The issues Maza spoke about last year on YouTube, but also the popular media coverage, are still issues today. The YouTube situation that happened over the summer, before it happened, I made one YouTube video about it. I wasn't interested, Maza said. It just happened to become inevitable to talk about for the platform as it existed because it effed with my ability to do my job. No, it didn't. It absolutely did not. It unequivocally helped you. There's absolutely nothing that Steven Crowder making fun of you did that hurt your career, period. You could have just turned off the comment section on your videos. You could have, I don't know, rolled with it, which is what I would suggest most people do in these scenarios. Instead, you whinged and cried and demanded special treatment and hurt the entire platform.
He's the only person pathetic enough to make people root for Steven Crowder.
Hey.
It's easy to question why Maza is moving to YouTube if he detests the company so much. Oh, but I'm sure The Verge is going to make an excuse for him. YouTube remains one of the only platforms for user-generated content in a video-on-demand format that allows creators to monetize their work and reach a massive audience. He could use BitChute, he could use Library, he could use Brightburn or whatever it's called. He could use Library. Did I say that one already? He could use Dailymotion. He could use Facebook. He could use Twitter. He could monetize it all via Patreon and not rely on monetization. Quite honestly, Maza would probably do better to just promote himself on Twitter because that's the only place he's relevant. Many popular YouTube creators have publicly spoken about being willing to leave YouTube for an alternative platform if there was an alternative. I effing hate that I have to use this platform where there's nowhere else to go, Maza said. YouTube is managed by bad people, and it's evil in ways I don't recognize, but I'm also fine taking their money.
I do hate YouTube. It's a shitty company that exploits its creators and doesn't deserve to exist.
I'm also fine using their platform. I'm also fine benefiting from all that YouTube has built.
But while it does, I might as well flood its airways with leftist propaganda.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Sad. These people never have the strength of their convictions. Look, I go out of my way to mirror my content to every new alternative platform out there. I constantly tell people, hey, I have a BitChute account. Even though I know that anybody that watches my videos there, I won't make a penny from it. I tell you, I have a Library account. I don't make money from that. I had a Dailymotion account, but their website is super bugged. Anytime a new video platform comes out, not only do I promote it, but I also use. That's what you do, all right? Now, leaving YouTube would be dumb, but I'm also not saying that it's a source of all evil like Maza is. It's you want to stay here and inform people of alternatives. You don't want to just abandon it. You've got to educate. You've got to inform people that there are alternatives. The company truly does not give an F about the damage it does to democracy. Really? Allowing an open platform where anybody can share their ideas? That's kind of the idea of democracy. I'm kicking and screaming working with a company in that way, but it's only because there's absolutely nowhere else to go. Again, as I pointed out, Library, BitChute, Dailymotion, Facebook, Patreon, Minds. I mean, how many other options do I need to... people already know you, Carlos. Most content creators are completely unknown. They need YouTube to be known, to build an audience. You already have one. You could have supported whatever stupid bread tube option there is. You could have done that, but you didn't. It says a lot about Carlos Maza. Maza doesn't expect to earn much money from YouTube. Instead, he's going to do what plenty of other creators do, have a Patreon. Shocking. Use Patreon to find supporters and hope he can make enough to do his channel and going to pay rent. Quote, There's no ethical consumption under capitalism. There's no ethical production under YouTube either, Maza tells The Verge. My goal is so that I can survive off Patreon subscribers and speaking gigs. I don't imagine a big chunk of my income will come from YouTube. If there's a way so that not even YouTube would profit off them, I would be happy too. Liar! Liar! Then willingly don't monetize your videos, Carlos.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
I mean, that's about taking all the profit out of it as you can. Or start a YouTube channel and upload like 30-second clips telling people to go watch the entire video on a different platform. The types of videos Maza is looking to make will feel similar to Strike Through. He'll cover subjects like Fox News, the 2020 election, and propaganda machines. But he hopes to take a lesson from left-wing creators known to fans as BreadTube and have more fun. BreadTube creators tend to use theatrical elements, lengthier videos to talk about political, social, and economic tips. So he wants to be ContraPoints, but he's got nothing on ContraPoints.
He's like ContraPoints with no confidence.
So I'm sure this will go well for you. It's not because I want to be another Crowder on YouTube. I think I'm better at my job being independent, he says. I do think YouTube is a part of the future for political commentary and political debate. Of course it is. There's good and bad. That means someone like me could survive viably on YouTube. It also means that complete butt hats, people with no research, and people who are motivated by pure ideology can also do well on YouTube. Yeah, Carlos Maza, the guy who's entirely motivated by ideology, sees that as being a problem. Shocking. He refers to himself as being a media critic, and my job is to critique the media. It's harder to do that while working under a corporate media company, says the guy that was fired. Even when I was at Vox, I was public about disagreeing with what Vox.com was publishing, Maza said. My goal is never to make a company really love me. As proud as I am of what I was doing at Vox, I'm grateful for their support and strike through. My goal is never to be the Vox.com guy or the NBC guy, but a guy who made good arguments. But how come you never did that? He didn't make good arguments. He demanded censorship. He kicked and screamed and deplatformed thousands, tens of thousands of creators. He took food off the table for thousands of creators. He made it more difficult for creators to earn money. He did absolutely nothing positive for humanity, and I can't wait to watch his channel fail miserably here on YouTube. Welcome to the fray, bud.
So I have a lot of fear.
Say